Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. How you doing today? Well, got a lot of things I want to talk about. Mainly Nancy Pelosi, right there. Look at that look in her face. And you know something? She ought to have that dumb look on her face. Old dummy looking look on her face. Now, don't get me wrong. I respect her as a seasoned politician. Then again, why I'm going to sit here lie? Oh, man, she's a disastrous politician. She's just a money hog and entitlement and the whole 9 yards. And she thinks she all that, and she's not. I don't remember one major legislation. The only major legislation that she really put her foot in and her grandma draws in is Obamacare, a right-wing healthcare policy that Barack Obama, which I am appreciative to him doing that because it's better than nothing. But he took Mitt Romney's healthcare plan from the Heritage Foundation and implemented it as a healthcare plan to try to cater or appease to a Republican, reach across the aisle and all that kind of stuff. And in some cases, you ain't going to reach across. I'm getting off subject. All right. Today, I'm going to talk about Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, right after she got sworn in for the second time as Speaker of the House, and I don't know why in the world there was no opposition, but that's another story. Because you put somebody, let me slow it down. Well, she went back to her alma mater and she went to her town hall at her alma mater, and a young lady began to approach her about a subject, and the subject was Black Lives Matters. Watch this.
This is Shelley Ward, a senior studying journalism and media studies. Shelley, what's your question?
Congratulations on the election.
You,
do you support the Black Lives Matter movement?
Well, I support the recognition that Black Lives Matter, for sure, and I have incorporated that in many of my statements. I think all lives matter, yes, but we really have to redress past grievances in terms of how we have addressed the African American community. I had a real privilege yesterday to address the swearing in of the new Black Caucus members. At least eight new members elected from places that are not majority Black communities. So this was a real breakthrough. So I think that we're all, working together to make sure that every part of our community, whether it's the immigrant community, whether it's the Black community, whether it's women's community, and the rest, not only matter but rule.
Now, as you see, she was asked a simple question. Do you support the Black Lives Movement? All you had to say was yes. Then you could have went into detail on the policies that you and the Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi, have put in place or plan to put in place to help Black Lives Matter. But no, you're going to go to the same old talking point that Republicans use when it comes to the Black Lives Matter issue. Matter of fact, they think Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization because you got some fools that probably did something dumb and yelled that Black Lives Matter and it made a terrorist organization. That don't make the organization a terrorist organization. When there's consistently, on purpose, part as a mandate, part as a philosophy, the institutionalization of destroying a race, then that's what you consider a hate group. Black Lives Matter never said white lives do not matter. They never said blue lives doesn't matter. They just want to put up in the forefront that Black Lives Matter. Until we start dealing with Black Lives Matter, then there's no real equality in the United States. Now, Ku Klux Klan, it's all about white lives matter and nothing else, and we'll destroy anything that get in the path of white lives matter. Black Lives Matter was not like that. A few idiots decide to do something stupid and yell at Black Lives Matter doesn't mean that they're part of that group. Now, that's dealing with the Republicans. Let's deal with you, Nancy Pelosi, because what you tried to do is blow her off with her question. Yeah, you just gaslight her. I mean, you gaslight her to the point that, you got that gas face right there. That's the gas face right there. You gaslighted the young lady. You basically told her, yeah, I'm for Black Lives Matter, and I'm going to show you how. I talked to some new Black Caucuses members, and a lot of them come from different... What that got to do with anything? You talking to Black Caucus members is not showing that Black Lives Matter and plans for you to make sure that Black Lives Matter. That's one of my pet peeves with parties right now. Because if you are a politician, you don't have a concrete Black agenda, you know, and start with Black, but work your way around to other races. Because right now, Blacks, Hispanics are going through hell and high water. And Muslims in other countries. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of Arabs in the United States are doing pretty well for themselves. I tell you this, they come to this country, a lot of them do a lot better than we Black people. We've been here forever, since the foundation of this great nation. Well, you know, so we've been here. But yet, people come in other countries and they get more perks, they get more opportunities than we do. Why? We don't know. But right now, Black lives are still being dominated by police officers, stopped at high rates, frisked at higher rates, accused of certain things at a higher rate. And I'm not even talking about the police department. That's one thing. And don't get me wrong, I respect my police officers. Not all of them, majority of them are not like that, but there's a bunch of them that are like that. And then you got people, white people, just want to call the police on anybody. If you fart, pass gas, dig up your nose, they're going to accuse you of something and trying to call the police to pretty much harass you or possibly get you killed. Whether you Backyard Betty and, you know, Elevator Lucy, who just don't want to be in the elevator with a black man, stupid stuff like that. So going back to this young lady question, do Black Lives Matter to you, Nancy Pelosi? Because you gaslight her. And if Black Lives Matter to you, stop blowing her off with all lives matter. We know all lives matter. Even Black Lives Matter activists know all lives matter. They know this. They're not saying all lives don't matter. They just want to put Black lives in the forefront because it's Black lives that continue to be marginalized, continue to be oppressed, continue to be depressed. And yes, I don't care what you people say, people like lady, but different people, Black Republicans who go around acting like, oh, there's no such thing as racism. Man, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. And see, I did not start this year off to be cussing, but shut the hell up and shut the heaven up. For you to go around saying, oh, racism is a lie, shut that mess up. Let you go somewhere and you be blacker than black. Go to Forsyth, Georgia and ride around black in an expensive car and you tell me racism doesn't exist. Go ahead with that stupid stuff, man. Gotta take the glasses off on you. I'm really upset with Nancy Pelosi. First of all, I'm upset with progressives who did not challenge her, at least challenge her. Ro Khanna, I love you, man, but you could have went out there and challenged her for the Speaker of the House. Challenge her, and then come up with some consensus to decide to support her after she make a declaration of what she's going to do for progressives. I wouldn't have gave her a vote until she gave me on paper that she's going to institution, that she's going to put policies for single payer, Medicare for all. I want to give her one vote until she said, yeah, to get your vote, I'll push Medicare for all. To get your vote, I want your vote. And I'm willing to give you Medicare for all. I'm willing to push for no-cost education. I know some people say, well, how come I don't think wealthy people should be getting free Medicare? This is a right. It has nothing to do with money. There's a lot of wealthy kids who come from wealthy families. Their family reject them, or they don't want to depend on their parents' money. They want to depend on their own. They want to do things for their own. So stop using it as a dumb talking point, Democrats, talking about we don't want Donald Trump kids getting free education or free health care. It doesn't matter who kids. It should be a right as American citizen, the wealthiest country in the world, regardless of whether you got money or not. You shouldn't have to be worried about paying to be healthy or paying to save your life or paying to get a graduate education. Now, if you want to go to a private school, one of these uppity schools, that's different. But we're talking about public education. So people like you, Nancy Pelosi, you're coming up with these talking points now that Republicans come up with. I think all lives matter. Nobody asked you that question. She asked you, how do you support Black Lives Matter? That's what the black young lady asked you. And you blow her off. And then you're going to talk about you talking about somebody. You talk to the Black Caucus. That ain't got nothing to do with you having policies to push to make sure Black Lives Matter. Talking to some people in the caucus. What they got to do with it, what you talk about? See, you didn't mention that. Talking to people. And I talk to people all day. That don't mean I got something done. Get out of here with this stuff. People, this is the problem with the Democratic Party. And this is the reason why Trump won. It ain't got nothing to do with Russia. Dumb, elitist, arrogant, cocky, think they got a right to have a position. People like Nancy Pelosi marginalizing, minimizing people's position in this world. You know, she's worth over $100 billion. She do not identify with you. This woman been wealthy for a long time. She come a wealthy, astute, strong political family. She haven't done much for Southern California or state of California in general, unless they're wealthy. And her and this pay-go crap, that's all she do. That's a way where she could stab the opportunity for you to get single-payer health care, Medicare for all, or whatever, however you want to call it, no-cost health care, no-cost college, things that should be a right in America. Yet you voted her in. People like Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, people like Ro Khanna, all these people voted her in to be Speaker of the House. And I understand because the other guy was way righter than Nancy Pelosi. It wasn't all way that much right. But her challenger was one of those, I wouldn't call them blue dog Democrats, one of them red dog Democrats. One of the ones that kind of the Joe Manchins, the Claire McCaskill, you know what kind of people they are. They always kissing up to Trump. So I understand that. You didn't need, but at least you could have challenged her. And at least you should have called her to the carpet and say, if you want my vote, ma'am, Speaker Pelosi, if you want to be Speaker, I want it in a contract. And I won't call you to the carpet if you don't do it. This pay-go thing, nah, it ain't happening. We want Medicare for all. We want minimum wage, 15 with inflation, all across the country. We want a rebus housing program. We don't want to be putting people in public housing. I mean, private housing, and for some reason they get kicked out and can't get back in. No, we need to revamp or reinstitutionalize or rebirth a booming housing program. That's what should have happened. But we got too many politicians, and a lot of them just got in the office and supposed to be progressives. And they caved in and allowed the most corporate-centric politician, wealthy beyond your imagination, who have no identification with regular people, become Speaker of the House. Did not challenge her, did not get some kind of consensus, did not get it on paper, did not get her on video, did not get her word. And none of you could have at least challenged her, and you didn't. Yet now she's Speaker of the House. She just pushed legislation to kill major progressive agendas, like single payer for all, Medicare for all, no cost of education. She put one of the strongest things, something that Republicans are happy that she pushed that. Because now they can be real fiscally conservative. They got their money for the military. But we don't have our money for no-cost education. We don't have our money for no-cost health care. It's up to the states now because of Nancy Pelosi and punk-weak Democrats and some so-called punk-weak progressive Democrats. When, like I said, Democrats do not, and I'm going to do a series on this, Democrats do not own the label, and I'm not going to let them own the label, and you should not let them own the label of Democrats, of progressives. Progressives have nothing to do with your party. Progressives have everything to do with your policies and your thinking process. How you see America. Do you see America as the land of the working class? A place where we can have hope and opportunity for everybody, where we make it easy for you, and where we all come together collectively to do whatever we can to make everybody have the same opportunity. Nancy Pelosi is not going to do that because we don't have the same opportunity to be like her and make $100 million while in Congress. Now, there was a saying, I don't know who said this, when you make that kind of money while you're in public office, you're a crook. Paraphrasing, you're a crook. And we got too many politicians, Democratic and Republicans, that some of them were already billionaires and millionaires when they went into office. But some of them got that money while they was in office. Why? Because they're kissing up to the corporate donors. They're kissing up to the military complex, big pharma, oil and gas industry, you name it. And she is one of them. She loves to tout how she's the biggest fundraiser in the Democratic Party. You're basically saying you're the biggest corporate kiss up in the Democratic Party. And you figure since I can raise the biggest money, you guys gonna need me. And I'm saying none of you guys need her. You can go out there and get your money from the people. You can take no money, no corporate PAC, no PACs, none of that stuff. You go straight to the people and campaign for the people and be on the people's dime and be totally sold out to the people. You don't have to do like Nancy Pelosi. Sold out to the donor class, sold out to Wall Street, sold out to Big Pharma, sold out, you're a sellout. And here comes this black girl, she asks you one simple question. Do you support Black Lives Matter? And you're going to blow off and say, I support all lives matter. You condescending, arrogant, bourgeois, silver spoon in your butt oligarch. What I think one of these days, I think once a year, every politician should take some time off and spend time in the streets or in the country and spend about a week with regular people. Live like they live. Do what they do. Work a job like they work a job. I think that's one of the most noble things any politicians can do. They should have a trading places program where once a year for 2 weeks, every politician should trade places. And this could be on their off time with the normal, average, everyday citizen. And don't pick and choose. It should be pick and choose by the public. So if I'm a janitor and I've been working as a janitor for 20 years and I'm barely making ends meet, you should take my place and I should take your place for 2 weeks. Trading places program. Sound like a good idea. I bet you that butt come back with a whole totally different thinking. Well, at least a little bit. So I'm done with this story, man. Nancy Pelosi will continue to upset me. I don't trust her. I would have never voted for her as Speaker of the House. I don't support her. She's one of the biggest corporate crooks, corporate cons that I've ever seen in my life. Her only achievement in the Senate, to me, is helping Obama Institute, whipping up the votes to get a right-wing plan concerning health care passed and made law. That's her only claim to fame to me, because she definitely haven't been doing too much for the state of California. And she definitely haven't been doing too much for black people. Sure, she's been helping black people get elected, but those black people getting elected are not from the grassroots. And a lot of times they're kissing her behind. Y'all kissing her behind. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. People like John Lewis. I can go on and on. Cory Booker. I can go on and on. Kissing Speaker Pelosi's behind. When you wielded power, she would have never got that seat without you. And if it was up, I'm telling you, it was up to me. And I know you can say that now because you just, no, if you want my vote, it's the same way concerning any vote. It's the same way concerning my vote for the Local elections, same way concerning the state election, and the same way nationally. If you want my vote, you got to show me what you have put on writing you're planning on doing for the people. To me, it's not about the number one thing we need to do is get rid of Trump. Yes, that may be in the program. If Trump is not doing what he's supposed to be doing, and in my book, he's not doing right by the American people and a whole lot of things. There's a couple of things he did right, and I give him credit for it. Majority of things, no. Most of the stuff he's been doing is for the wealthy class. Same thing Nancy Pelosi is going to do. I wouldn't be surprised she caved into Trump on this, giving him the money for the wall. Her and Chuck Schumer was going to give him money before, but he got greedy and asked for more, and then they stopped it. But they were willing to pay this man for the wall. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all these guys, man, they suck, man. Suck. They don't give a crap about you, man. They don't. What have she said that she's going to do for you? What is the platform? What is the Democratic agenda that she's leading in the House? What is it? Pay go? Well, we ain't gonna let nothing go unless we know we can pay for it for sure. Yeah, the Republicans, they don't give a crap. I don't care we ain't got the money for it or not. We gonna do it. And we gonna find some way to pay for this war. We're gonna find some way to pay for this $700 billion. We're gonna find some way to pay for this tax cut we did for the wealthy. We're gonna find some way. And know how we gonna find our way? Well, we can cut Social Security. We can take some money out of the working class, a little money out of them, or whatever. Our tax dollars making decisions without us. Nancy Pelosi making decisions without us. Anyway, I'm done, man. People like this give me a headache, man. I don't understand this. The girl asks her a simple question, do Black Lives Matter? And she goes and gaslight her. You know why she gaslight her? Because Black lives do not matter to the corporate elite in the Democratic Party, including the corporate elite Democrats that are black. Because if they did, they will be pushing hard a black agenda and be very vocal for it. Now, again, please, people, don't get me wrong. I agree with the fact that all lives matter. But right now, the reason I'm pushing Black lives in the forefront is not for the organization, but for the movement, for the simple fact that for the last 20 years and beyond, we still have been at the bottom. We still been oppressed and oppressed. Sure, a bunch of us is doing whatever we can to break. Going to college, get an education, even sometimes we still having a hard time getting job positions. Yet we got to deal with student loan, yet we got people like Nancy Pelosi saying we should not do a debt cancellation program. Don't have the guts that Jill Stein has when they talk about quantitative easing and getting rid of people's debt so they can put more money in the economy. Where's that plan? You know how many people that will help? You can bail out Wall Street, you can bail out on the automobile industry, but you can't bail out people with student loans so they can put money back in the economy? Nancy Pelosi don't believe that. But yet, she signed for the bailout for corporate America. She signed for the bailout for Wall Street. She signed for the bailout for the automobile industry. But when it comes to you, who's still struggling, 100 years old, still paying your student loan from way back in 1910 somewhere, she said you shouldn't have that. Biden said you shouldn't have that. Matter of fact, he passed a law to make it hard for you to do that. We'll talk about Biden in a moment. Oh, Joe, creepy Joe. Oh, boy, don't let him hug up on your kids, I'll tell you that. But anyway, I'm done with this. This is Rob Brown with the Rob Report. Nancy Pelosi. As Kanye say, hey, Kanye, George Bush ain't the only one that might not like black people. I'm talking about real, normal, average day, everyday black people. People that I know in my neighborhood. She only like Trump, no different from Trump. She only like black people on her level, and that is in certain class type. At least that's from what I'm seeing. Anyway, I'm done with this. I might get demonetized because I'm talking about Nancy Pelosi. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. I'm telling the truth. The nerves of you to gaslight this lady when she asked you one different question. You showed to me how much black lives really matter. It only matters when you're in the House and Senate or you're a millionaire and billionaire with a bunch of money to Nancy Pelosi. Because if it mattered to you, she'd have been talking about some of the things that she's going to do in the black community, in the Hispanic community, and the Muslim community, and in the white community. Instead, she just say, I support all lives. Support me. You're going to do something for them, right? Tell us what you're going to do, or just shut up.